Hello, my name is Greg Jones. Today I would like to talk with you about the history of the Methodist Church. Particularly, I would like to focus on the origins in Britain, how it came to America, and its impact on American history. Now, before I begin, I want to give a quick disclaimer that I'm not a Methodist, but as a historian, I have attempted to remove any possible bias from the material I'm about to present. The Methodist movement was started by John and Charles Wesley. They were originally Anglican priests in the Church of England. They went on a mission trip to Georgia in 1736, but the mission trip was unsuccessful, which led to a religious transformation that occurred in 1738. On May 24th, 1738, John Wesley attended a meeting that was led by the Moravians at Aldersgate Street in London. After the meeting, John began teaching on sanctification and a second birth, a new birth. Then the brothers began to advocate for reforms, societal reforms, charitable organizations. According to the United Methodist website, the goal of the Wesley brothers was to, and I quote, to reform the nation, particularly the church, and to spread scriptural holiness over the land, end quote. Over time, general rules were created for the maintenance and order of the Methodist Church. And they began to have different meetings, such as the class and band meetings. Though they were growing over time, they did encounter resistance, not just ideological, but physical. According to Perry Smith in an article for the Church Heritage Journal, angry mobs and clergy members would actually inflict physical damage and threatened the Wesley brothers. But this did not hamper the movement. In the 1760s, Methodism made its way to America. There were several members of Methodists that came over, and key individuals that helped spread it, such as Robert Strawbridge helped preach in Maryland and Virginia, Philip Embury worked in New York, and Thomas Webb worked in Philadelphia. Now, in 1771, the most influential of the early American Methodists was sent out to preach, and this was Francis Asbury. According to Mark Knoll in the book History of Christianity in the United States and Canada, Asbury told his associates, and I quote, "Go into every kitchen and shop. Address all aged and young on the salvation of souls." End quote. The first Methodist conference was held in Philadelphia in 1773. Though the Methodist Church experienced good growth during its early years in America, there was a period where it experienced decline during the American Revolutionary War. This was attributed to John Wesley openly supporting the crown. He did not support the colonists, and his writings actually reflected his anti-colony freedom ideals. After the war, John Wesley actually placed Francis Asbury in charge of the Methodist movement in North America. And in December of 1784, at a conference in Baltimore, the American Methodists were officially formed. They were formed as the group named the Methodist Episcopal Church in America. Now, the Methodists have contributed to American history, in my opinion, in two key areas. The first is hymns. The hymns of Charles Wesley are numerous. They're really, really great hymns, very spiritual hymns, and they crossed denominational lines. I know as a Baptist, we sing some of these hymns in church. Some of his famous hymns are Hark the Herald Angels Sing, a Christmas classic, Oh for a Thousand Tongues to Sing, and Christ the Lord is Risen Today. Now, in addition to the great hymns that Charles Wesley has written for all of us to sing and to worship God with, the Methodists were really big in reforms, social reforms. According to Mark Knoll in the book I previously mentioned, the vision of the Wesleys was very important. They wanted, and I quote, Christianity to reach beyond the inner life to take in social responsibilities as well, end quote. They believed that Christianity was more than just inward reflection and worshiping God and turning to Him. It was a Christian's responsibility to help society. In an article by Jane Donovan for the Methodist History Journal, Francis Asbury stated, and I quote, "We are Republicans here. If I sit down, 3 or 4 will come and talk me around. I have only to let you know that all the brethren appear to wish some more equal representation. I find it is the wish of many of the members," end quote. The Methodists were also strongly involved in the temperance movement. Francis Willard, a Methodist, led the Women's Christian Temperance Union in America. They were very big in trying to eliminate the evils of alcohol. Now, the Methodist Church in America has had great impacts. They've left great hymns, as I mentioned. They have had social reforms, and they've overall left a strong mark in American history. That is why it's very important to understand the roots of Methodism, how they came to America, and how they've impacted American history. Thank you for your time.